Hi, Celeste Cuffey here with Life Empowered Consulting Services, where our mission is to reach, empower, and motivate others to access and utilize their God given talents and skills, building better families, companies, and communities worldwide. Thank you so much for spending time with me on today. I am looking forward to sharing with you these 15 minutes of living life empowered. Now, as you know, I'm sure we're all very familiar that if you look on the news, if you look on social media, if you look anywhere, what you will find are so many things that create more divisiveness, things that create more division, and things that create more dissension among each other as sisters and brothers in this global community. However, I wanted to take today and I wanted to take this 15 minutes just to simply remind you of this very thing. We all need each other. I'm going to say that again. We all need each other. So, over the past weekend, it was a Memorial Day holiday, and I do salute all of our troops and those that fought for us and on our behalf. And as part of that event, as many of us have done and we're familiar with, we celebrate with some kind of picnic, barbecue. We get together um, and do something just as a unit. Well, for this particular Memorial Day, what we did, and this is we called it our second or third annual barbecue. We talked to our closest friends and family, and we said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. We're having the picnic. What do you want to bring?" And so, what happened? We had people that brought hot dog buns and hot dogs. We had people bring drinks. We had people bring drinks for the kids. We had people bring chicken and ribs and potato chips and potato salad and desserts and fruit and you name it, we had it here celebrating on that day, just spending time with our friends and our family. And what am I telling you about? Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because I was not, my husband and I, we were not responsible for providing everything. But when each person, with each family, when each household brought something, corn on the cob, when we had each of those things brought, once we put it all on the table, okay, once we put it all on the table, we had a feast. Do you hear me? We had a feast. And that's what we're talking about today. Now, I would have done fine by myself. I am a good cook. I can cook. I don't struggle with that. But when my sisters brought their meals and my brothers brought their meals and we put it all together, we had a feast of food on that day. Why? Because we're better together. Because we are better together. And what we were doing was complimenting each other with the things that we brought to the table. Never forget what you bring to the table and make sure that you allow those things to complement your sisters and your brothers. And that's whether it's in your home or if it's in your boardroom or if it's in the church. What you bring to the table should be complementary to what's on the table. So I wanted to just give you that quick analogy of how much better, how much more, how much more we can accomplish when we do it together, when we are unified. And so one of the things that I want to talk about is how do we do this? How do we recognize? How do we realize? How do we take advantage of the, the the fact that we are better together, especially when the world is saying we shouldn't be better, we shouldn't be together, let alone better, that we shouldn't maximize collaboration, that we should be in competition instead of collaboration. How do we handle that? How do we address that? Let me tell you what we do. It's a very simple word, three letters, one word, and an acronym. Okay? Three letters, one word, and it's an acronym. And the word is ACT. ACT. A is in apple, C is in cat, T is in Tom. ACT. Okay? Here it is. First thing is A, acknowledge. Acknowledge the fact that you need some help. You need your sisters. You need your brothers. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it within yourself. Acknowledge it and understand that you might put what you have on the table, but if you put it with someone else, if you put your chicken with the macaroni and cheese, and I'm just going with the food analogy, you've just enhanced your dinner. If you put your chicken together with your macaroni and cheese, and now you have someone that came with the drinks, you've made it even better. And so acknowledge the fact that what you have is good. And it doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't take anything away from the chicken. It doesn't take anything away from the macaroni and cheese. It doesn't take anything away from the sodas. You're good, but you're better together. Acknowledge that. The second thing that I want you to do with that C is communicate it. See, acknowledging it is for you, but the communication of it is for someone else. Tell them, thank you. Tell them you made my meal even better because of what you brought to the table. I appreciate you. Tell them that you find value in who they are and how they contribute. Thank them. Communicate that. How many of us have said to people that we say that are important to us? How many of us have we said to them? How many of us have said to them that are important to us that I appreciate you? I value you. You challenge me. You make me better. You make me think. As a result of being in your space, I'm better. I've learned so much from you. That doesn't take anything away from you. It's a compliment to you because you've added to them. C is communicate. So the first thing that you've done is you've acknowledged, which is for you. The second thing that you've done is you've communicated, which is for them. The third thing that you will do is treat them as such. And that is for both of you. That is for all of the above. Make sure that your actions line up with what you say, what you've acknowledged. Now, if you love me like you say, and if you value me like you say, now, how can I see that in your deeds? How can I see that in your kindness? How can I see that in your compassion and in your grace? How can I see it? Because I heard you, but now how can I see it? And then here it is. What you're showing me, is it being executed in a way in which I can understand? Meaning, if I understand that you love me through flowers, then are you bringing me flowers? If I understand that you appreciate me through time, then are you carving out time for me? If I understand that you value me through gifts, then did you buy me a pack of gum? I don't know, whatever it is. Have you learned that person enough? Have you learned the people that you say that you love and you value enough to recognize and to understand what's important to them and for you to act upon it? Now, the next thing that I want to say is that I shared that this is for the both of you. Why? Why is it for the both of you? Because one, you've acknowledged it. Two, you've communicated it. So one was for you, the other for them. And now that you are treating them like so, you are building who you are because you're honoring the words that you put out. You're honoring the voice that you've spoken to yourself and the fact that you need your sister or your brother. And so, yes, it's for both of you. Now, here's the other thing. I say it's for both of you. And I say that this is important, understanding that we need each other, that it is important that you believe that you act upon it, you live it, and you communicate it. And while I want you to make sure you surely do that for your sister and your brother, understand that you also have to do that for yourself. You have to bring your whole you to the table. You have to bring your whole you to the environment. And once you do that, once you do that, and you're living out who you are, who you've acknowledged yourself to be, who you've communicated to others that you're going to be or that you are, then watch the trajectory of your life just continue to shoot forward and progressive. So I want you to make sure that you do that. Now, I'm going to do something that I typically don't do, but I want to share this with you. I have an older gentleman. I call him my mentor. His name is Jim. So the part that I normally don't do is call out names. There's another mentor or another gentleman that I look up to. His name is John. Then there is someone else that I built a relationship with, a working relationship, and now a friendship with. Her name is Mara. And then I have another whose name is Annie. And then I have my friends who are over at the house over the holiday weekend that I've known for over 20 years. I've been able to maintain a relationship and a friendship and a bond with these ladies and these gentlemen. And why am I calling out these individuals? And I'm not calling out everybody's names. It's not a very exhaustive list. There's so many more that I could add to the table. But my point is about these individuals is that they don't all look like me. They don't all act like me. They're not all the same color. They're not all the same gender. They're not all the same sexual preferences. They are all different people. But together, we have been able to do some fantastic things. Why? Because we're better together. And I want you to understand that we are better together. Two heads are better than one. That's what we say, right? And you bring your thoughts and my thoughts together, and we collaborate and we make something great. That's what we should be doing. That's what our focus is. Our focus cannot be you stay over there and I'll stay over here. It has to be that we are better together. It's a misnomer to think that I am your competition. It's a misnomer for me to think that you are my competition. Your sisters and your brothers, they are not in competition with you. We are in competition with ourselves. The problem is that we begin to use each other as benchmarks and barometers. Again, a misnomer, but that's not the topic for today, so we'll go into that another time. But what I want you to understand and walk away with on today is that we are better together and we need each other and we have to be unified. And how do we unify? We act, we acknowledge, we communicate, and we treat people like we say, like our acknowledgement, like we've acknowledged their value. That's what we do. So that is Celeste Cuffey here, 15 minutes of living life empowered. I do thank you for spending this time with me. For more information about Life Empowered Consulting Services, please visit my website at www.celestecuffey.com. In addition, feel free to reach out to me directly, 414-939-5327. And most of all, remember to live life empowered. Take care. Goodbye.